Ngā mihi nui ki a koutou, tēnei te mihi o te pō. I'm Angie Warren Clark, and thank you for this opportunity tonight. Hard act to follow, Picky. Cheers. I'm going to begin my story with something that happened to me as a baby. I was laying in my cot, watching the sun dapple across, and I heard the sound of my mother running screaming through the room. I saw my father chasing her, and then I heard the sickening sound of her being hurt. As a baby, I would have been less than 1 year old. I knew even then not to cry. I knew even then to be still and silent. That was the beginning of a life that I have lived with domestic violence. I've also lived a fabulous life, and I will talk to you tonight about my work and my journey and how I came to be at Tauranga Womens Refuge. But I want you to remember that as a child in domestic violence, and there 1 in 3 of us women here in this room will be affected by domestic violence in our life, that this is the experience that I bring, and it isn't about being a victim, it is about being a survivor and wanting to change what is happening in this world. So, newborn baby, went off, learnt about the world, and learnt that home was not necessarily a safe place, but home was still a loving place, and I still loved and cared for my father, and he still loved and cared for me. But he did not have the skills at that time to actually raise us in a way that didn't involve violence. So as a child and growing through those years in that home, at about the age 7, I had a decision to make. I thought about the fact that I had just been hurt again, and I thought, I will never, never do this to my children. I will never, ever hurt my babies. So at age 7, I made myself a promise that I would not do that. And I'm proud to say that, in fact, that has been the case. Fast forward now, age 18, headed off to university to learn about the world. And one of the things about going off to university is you open yourself up to so many opportunities. So I was fully involved with student politics, fully involved as a law student, developing experiences and looking at the law in our country. Spent 7 years doing 2 degrees and qualified as a barrister and solicitor in 1998. I had the privilege of studying under Ruth Bush, who is a well-known and respected feminist lawyer, and she actually changed my life. We have women in our lives, we have people in our lives, don't we, that actually change our lives. And this one day I was sitting in a study, doing feminist studies, and she actually came to do a guest lecture for us, and she talked about women and the law, and I was like, oh, pick me, I want to be one of them. How amazing. Of course, having a child and being a single mother, I made some decisions about going into government and working as an employee of government, because being a lawyer and practicing in those days meant a 60-plus hour week. Fast forward again, I end up working for the Ministry of Justice as a domestic violence advisor, going around this maunga, working with services, making a difference. And I get the opportunity to apply for a position at Tauranga Moana. Women's Refuge. I get the opportunity to put my money where my mouth is, to actually walk the talk. And I had the opportunity to actually walk in and do amazing, transforming work alongside the most powerful and wonderful collective and women who have come to our service. So, we started with 2.3, she was only 2 days a week, 2.3 employees. We currently have 9 employees. We have launched a book called Grim Tales, and I encourage you to read it. It is a beautiful community collaboration alongside the incubator. We have just come off the Mount Everest challenge. Anyone climb? I certainly did. We've raised $70,000+ to support our children in our children's programs. So I've come full circle in what I do, and it is my privilege to work alongside and walk the talk with those women and work to empower and build them. They do the hard work. We just facilitate and provide the service to do that. So we have a safe house that houses 10 women and children. We also run a 24/7 crisis line. We have programs left, right and centre. We have to fundraise. I have to fundraise more than $10,000 a month in order to deliver our services. So in conclusion, the reason I'm standing for Parliament is because we get $186,000 a year, and it costs more than $400,000 to deliver our services. And I am tired of fundraising. We are funded for 16 children. I was one of those 16 children that could have done with that service. We need to make a difference in our society, and our DV work, our 1 in 3 women who are affected by domestic violence in this country, we need to make a change. Thank you.